Under the Memorandum of Understanding, the Strait of Hormuz will return to its pre-war capacity within 30 days, under the management that Iran will put in place and after the Islamic Republic of Iran removes the obstacles. No other body or country bears any responsibility in this regard under the Memorandum of Understanding signed between Iran and the United States. Trump's strikes on Iran may have backfired as Mojtaba Khamenei appears to have tightened Tehran's grip over the Strait of Hormuz. The fragile Iran-US ceasefire now hangs in the balance as Tehran draws a fresh red line for President Trump. Speaking from the territory of one of America's closest Arab allies, Iran delivered a bold new message directly to Washington. Only Iran controls Hormuz. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi publicly reads out Mojtaba Khamenei's latest directive. Iran's top diplomat has also demanded a complete halt to Israeli military operations in Lebanon before tensions escalate further. Under the Memorandum of Understanding, the Strait of Hormuz will return to its pre-war capacity within 30 days, under the management that Iran will put in place and after the Islamic Republic of Iran removes the obstacles. These arrangements are being adopted and implemented, and responsibility for them rests with the Islamic Republic of Iran. No other body or country bears any responsibility in this regard under the Memorandum of Understanding signed between Iran and the United States. Any attempt to adopt new or separate arrangements from those currently being implemented by the Islamic Republic of Iran will only complicate the situation, delay the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and raise the level of tension, as we witnessed over the past 2 nights with incidents in the Strait of Hormuz that led to increased tensions and clashes. I urge all parties not to interfere in the management of the Strait of Hormuz or in the arrangements being made by the Islamic Republic of Iran to reopen the strait. They should abide by the signed Memorandum of Understanding and not allow it to be derailed. It is the responsibility of the U.S. government, under the commitment it accepted in the Memorandum of Understanding on its own behalf and on behalf of the Zionist regime, to stop the regime's attacks, allow the end of the war to take hold there, and ensure withdrawal from the occupied areas. This is also one of the provisions of Article 1 of the Memorandum of Understanding. With the new approach that has emerged, the security architecture of the Gulf region must be reconsidered by all regional countries. We need to arrive at a new framework that includes all countries in the region and excludes the presence or interference of any extra-regional power. In this regard, we welcome Foreign Minister Fuad Hussein's proposal to establish talks among the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, Iran and Iraq, what he described as the 6+2 format, and we are ready to cooperate with the Iraqi government on this initiative. Iran has released what it says are the first visuals of its missile strikes on U.S. military bases, offering a dramatic look at its claimed retaliation. Calling it a response to U.S. aggression, Iran has unveiled footage showing a barrage of missiles launched toward American military targets. Iran has published dramatic new footage that it says captures its attack on American targets during the latest military confrontation. Iran is escalating its rhetoric by highlighting reported American casualties and injuries, using the conflict to amplify its message against Washington. One of the missile warheads carried a message directed at U.S. President Trump, adding a symbolic dimension to the military exchange. In a sharp propaganda message, Iran claimed that Trump's only success was boosting the business of U.S. coffin makers and wheelchair manufacturers. The latest footage comes after Iran's missile launches triggered widespread alarm across Kuwait and Bahrain, heightening fears of a broader regional escalation. Mojtaba wastes no time punishing Trump's forces after Tehran alleges the ceasefire was violated. Fresh panic after Iran fires missiles and drones at US-linked military targets across the Gulf region. Explosions rock Bahrain. Air defenses engage missiles and drones over neighboring Kuwait. US and Bahrain claim they shot down 9 Iranian attack drones during the latest regional escalation. Iran retaliates hours after US airstrikes targeted military facilities in southern Iran. Trump ordered the latest strikes on Iran, citing what Washington called repeated ceasefire violations. US forces hit Iranian missile, drone, and coastal radar positions in coordinated operations. Explosions shake Keshem Island and southern Iran as US raids target strategic military sites. CENTCOM says strikes targeted air defenses, drones, and naval mine-laying infrastructure. US said op followed Iranian drone attack on a commercial tanker near the Strait of Hormuz. Trump threatens Iran. Islamic Republic may no longer exist if attacks continue against US interests. Donald Trump said, and I quote, "United States aircraft just struck Iranian missile and drone storage locations and coastal radar sites for violating the ceasefire agreement, again." It is very possible that they will never learn. There may come a point when we are no longer able to be reasonable, and will be forced to militarily complete the job that we very successfully started. If that happens, the Islamic Republic of Iran will no longer exist." Unquote. Iran claims it hit U.S. Fifth Fleet Base in Bahrain and Ali Al Salem Air Base in Kuwait. IRGC says joint missile drone strikes targeted 8 key U.S. military installations across the Gulf region. Iran strikes U.S.-linked targets in Bahrain as fresh hostilities threaten to derail the fragile peace process. Bahrain accuses Iran of drone strike near the strategic U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters. Manama condemns attack as a blatant breach of its sovereignty and regional security. Bahrain vows to defend its territory as fears of a wider Gulf escalation grow. Tehran defends defensive response, saying it acted after recent U.S. military strikes on Iran. Iran says U.S. airstrikes violated the war-ending agreement reached just last week. U.S. struck Iranian missile, drone and radar sites only hours before Tehran's response. Pentagon said strikes retaliated for the drone attack on a cargo ship near the Strait of Hormuz. New tit-for-tat strikes to push the fragile U.S.-Iran ceasefire to the brink of collapse?
Mr. President, you said that Iran violated the ceasefire.
Yeah,
will they face any consequences?
Well, you'll find out.
Do you consider the ceasefire to still be in place?
I don't like the fact that they took a shot yesterday, actually 4, we knocked down 3, at a ship. Not an Allied ship, but a ship, a very expensive ship. And it was fine, but it took a little beating. They shouldn't be doing that, so you'll find out.
Will the U.S.
You'll find out
will
exactly.
the U.S. respond? What is your message to
Will
Iran?
I respond? You're going to find out.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.